of Windhaven was known for its picturesque views and serene landscapes, but beneath its tranquil facade lay a history marred by darkness and unspeakable horrors. In the heart of the town stood the Blackwood Mansion, a grandiose structure that had been abandoned for decades. Rumors spoke of the Blackwood Curse, where every heir met a gruesome end within the mansion's walls. The last of the Blackwoods, Jonathan, had disappeared without a trace, leaving behind tales of madness and murder. Enter Leo, a journalist with a penchant for the macabre. Intrigued by the tales of the Blackwood Curse, he decided to spend a night in the mansion, hoping to uncover the truth. Armed with a camera and a voice recorder, Leo stepped into the echoing halls of the mansion as night fell. The mansion was a labyrinth of corridors and rooms, each more eerie than the last. Dust-covered portraits of the Blackwood ancestors stared down at him, their eyes seeming to follow his every move. As he explored, Leo began to hear faint whispers echoing through the halls. The whispers spoke of betrayal, jealousy, and a darkness that consumed the soul. In the main hall, Leo found a series of journals, each belonging to a different Blackwood heir. As he leafed through them, a chilling narrative began to emerge. Each heir had been plagued by visions of their predecessors, urging them to commit heinous acts. The journals spoke of unspeakable horrors, from ritualistic sacrifices to cold-blooded murders. The most disturbing journal belonged to Jonathan Blackwood. He wrote of being tormented by the spirits of his ancestors, who demanded a blood sacrifice to appease the darkness within the family. Jonathan resisted, but the pressure grew unbearable. The final entry was a chilling confession. Jonathan had succumbed to the darkness, murdering his wife and children in a fit of madness before disappearing into the night. As Leo read the final entry, the temperature in the room dropped. The whispers grew louder, now joined by the sound of footsteps. Leo turned to see the ghostly apparitions of the Blackwood ancestors, their eyes filled with rage and malice. In the center stood Jonathan, his hands stained with blood. Paralyzed with fear, Leo watched as the ghosts advanced towards him. They spoke of the need for a new sacrifice, and Leo realized he was their chosen victim. Desperate to escape, he began to recite a prayer, hoping to banish the spirits. To his surprise, the ghosts began to recoil. The power of the prayer, combined with the purity of Leo's soul, was enough to drive them back. One by one they disappeared, leaving Leo alone in the echoing halls of the mansion. Leo fled the mansion, vowing never to return. He wrote an article about his experience, exposing the dark secrets of the Blackwood family. The article made headlines, and the town of Windhaven was once again thrust into the spotlight. The Blackwood Mansion was demolished, and a memorial was erected in its place, honoring the victims of the Blackwood Curse. Leo went on to become a renowned journalist, but the memories of that night haunted him for the rest of his life. After the publication of Leo's article, Windhaven became a focal point for paranormal enthusiasts and thrill seekers. Many were drawn to the remnants of the Blackwood Mansion, hoping to catch a glimpse of the supernatural. But the town's elders, wary of the dark history, erected barriers and warnings around the site. Months later, a mysterious woman named Alara arrived in Windhaven. With raven black hair and piercing blue eyes, she claimed to be a descendant of the Blackwoods, a distant relative from abroad. She sought to reclaim the family's honor and intended to rebuild the mansion. The townsfolk were divided. Some saw her as a beacon of hope, a chance to restore the grandeur of the Blackwoods. Others were skeptical, fearing the return of the curse. Leo, having experienced the horrors firsthand, tried to dissuade Alara, but she was resolute. As the mansion was rebuilt, strange occurrences began. Workers spoke of tools disappearing, chilling drafts, and whispers in the dead of night. Many quit, but Alara pressed on, hiring outsiders to finish the job. Once the mansion was complete, Alara invited the town to a grand ball. The opulence of the event was unmatched, with guests from all over the region attending. Leo, though hesitant, decided to go, hoping to confront Alara about her true intentions. The night of the ball, the mansion was awash with light and music. Guests danced and reveled, seemingly forgetting the dark history of the place. But as midnight approached, the atmosphere shifted. The lights flickered, and a cold wind swept through the halls. Suddenly, the ghostly apparitions of the Blackwoods appeared, led by Jonathan. The guests were trapped, paralyzed by fear. Alara, standing atop the grand staircase, began to chant in an ancient tongue. It became clear that this was not a ball but a ritual, with the guests as the intended sacrifices. Leo, drawing upon his previous encounter, began to recite the prayer that had saved him before. The guests, recognizing the power of the chant, joined in. The combined force of their voices created a barrier, pushing back the spirits. Alara, realizing her plan was failing, tried to escape, but Jonathan, angered by her betrayal, turned on her. The other spirits joined him, and Alara was consumed by the very darkness she sought to harness. With Alara gone, the spirits began to fade. One by one they disappeared, leaving the guests in stunned silence. The Blackwood Mansion, once a symbol of grandeur, now stood as a testament to the dangers of meddling with the past. The townsfolk, grateful to Leo for his bravery, decided to convert the mansion into a museum, dedicated to preserving the history of Windhaven and serving as a warning about the perils of unchecked ambition. Leo, having faced the darkness twice, decided to leave Windhaven, seeking solace in solitude. But his legacy lived on, and the tale of the Blackwood Curse became a legend, passed down through generations. And so Windhaven, with its picturesque views and serene landscapes, remained a town of contrasts, a place where beauty and darkness coexisted, a reminder of the shadows of the past and the resilience of the human spirit.